just looked at that and I was like, if I wasn't recording all that, that would really suck. Like I forgot to push record. Special guest Mike Coyle.
But
He doesn't look that
cut this part out.
On shoulder ahead.
He doesn't.
focus solely on losing body fat, which is what this
Watch
program.
out, animal on shoulder ahead.
What? I was eating clean.
Watch out, roadkill on road ahead.
Hey guys, what's up? It's been a few days since I recorded a video, and we are in lovely Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, getting gas. Ooh. Well, we're driving back from a childhood friend of Mike's wedding that was in Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. So that's like, I guess it's been like a 6.5 hour trip total. So quite a lot of driving, but it was a really fun wedding. We had a good time. And I wanted to record a video today about my new workout program. And that I just completed 12 weeks of anything is a huge success for me, because I was such a like yo-yo dieter, yo-yo worker-outer in the past. And for me to stick to 12 weeks is really it's a miracle, for real. It was hard. Like some days were challenging to like get the workouts done, and they were long. Like sometimes I was working out 90 minutes at a time and on an elliptical or something. So they were like mentally challenging, but the way that my trainer sets the workouts up and tests your abilities before you start makes it so you're not overtraining. So I had like no injuries. I wasn't ever like super sore. It was all cardio. And I kind of want to tell you a little bit about how it went for me, how I feel now, and have Mike, my husband, tell you a little bit about the science behind like what I've been doing, because sometimes I don't really even understand the science behind it, but I'll tell you like my take on why I'm doing this, how much weight I lost, and what we're going to be doing for the next 12 weeks. So that's what this video is going to be about. I hope you enjoy. So here we are at a little rest stop getting gas, and I wanted to explain to you why I chose to do this totally new program. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I am a Beachbody coach, and I've been doing at-home workouts for like 4 years. I started 4 years ago with a 21-day fix, and I like fell in love with the clean eating, and I fell in love with the camaraderie of like a whole bunch of people, coaching people and helping people virtually like get fit and share their stories and change their lives. And I just fell in love with the whole thing, and I still love coaching. I love the whole Beachbody world, and I love everything that they stand for. And that's the kind of like multi-level marketing deal that I would be interested in. Basically, you're living your best life and helping other people do theirs. And I helped so many of my friends and family to start their fitness journeys, and that's what I like to keep that as. Like, it was a really good start to losing weight and working out the right way. And when I mean the right way, I mean like healthily. Like I had lost weight so many different ways in the past, you know, low carb, no carb, whatever, but this was just a clean eating way of life and working out every day. That was what I gained from that whole experience. All right, so Mike's real happy about being on camera. He loves it. He's so happy about it. Is that good? Okay.
Fine.
So we're bringing Mike in while I'm driving, and I'm not looking at the camera. We're gonna stay extra safe. He's gonna tell us the scientific reasons behind the type of cardio we're doing and why it's better, best. Does that sound good? Like, why is this better? Like with this new, like I was telling everybody that I was a Beachbody coach and doing workouts every single day. Granted, they were like 30 minutes. They were weights, which I love. And
Well, first of all, one thing is that, you know, there's specific ways to achieve certain goals, and people can have different goals, but a lot of times people try to throw one thing at everyone's different goals, and that's not the way that works.
like one workout or one mindset.
Right, or just like, oh, everyone should lift weights. Right, but And I guess we're being told a lot too right now that lifting weights is a way to get lean and all that stuff, and it really isn't. lifting weights is about either getting stronger or bigger as far as your muscles go.
And let's talk about also like why you have any credentials to say any of this. So, Mike doesn't have any credentials at all in the fitness industry. Yet I would call him an expert in this area because he's been lifting at the gym that I started going to with the trainer I started seeing, and he's been doing a cardio program from this trainer for how many years now?
6 years.
6 years. And you've lost a ton of body fat and been able to like maintain
that way for that amount of time and from a lifestyle standpoint. So it's not I didn't lose however many pounds in 4 weeks and then no one talked about what happened after that because more life
I gained it all back.
happens. I mean, I lost most of the weight in the first year or so and have pretty much maintained since then. And pretty substantial. I went from about 30% body fat to 12 to 14, 15 range, somewhere in there. Probably fluctuate a little in there. So.
Wow, that's pretty huge, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and
we'll be inserting pictures, don't worry.
Oh boy.
Oh yes, pictures.
And
check them
and
out
not just from a look standpoint, all that stuff, but from a health standpoint too. I mean, being 30% body fat, that's gonna over time is gonna end up being major health issues associated with that too. So
that's true. But a lot of people, let's talk about this. A lot of people, especially women, and I would say like in your late 20s, early 30s, you start making that shift towards like, I want to be overall like healthier. And when you're in your late 20s, early 20s, it's like skinny. You just want to be skinny, 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 skinny. I want to have like a thigh gap, and I want to be skinny. And then you make the shift to like overall health, which I think is important to note because skinny, skinny. I want to have like a thigh gap, and I want to be skinny. And then you make the shift to like overall health, which I think is important to note because you can be skinny. You could be like a dehydrated fat person, we like to call it.
Yep. You can make the number on the scale go down and still have the same amount of body fat. And
who wants to look like that too?
Right.
Like,
And
you
but
don't look good when you're
a lot of it too is
fat.
people don't understand that. They think losing weight is just the same thing, but
That's true.
We're talking about what they mean to say is I want to lose body fat, but they don't realize that that's what they need to be saying or that's what they need to be doing. A lot of people, I think. So all the quick weight loss programs are simply, for the most part, a way to dehydrate your body, so where you lose a lot of pounds on the scale, but it's mostly from water weight and dehydrating yourself.
Yeah. So the trainer that I've been going to now, who Mike's been seeing forever, he would say a healthy amount of weight loss per week would be what? 1/4 pound to 1.5 pounds. What? That's not enough. Okay, that was my first reaction. When I first heard that, I was like, oh my God, weak.
Yeah.
I could do better.
Well, and what do most things advertise? 5,
Hopefully
6,
more than 5.
7 pounds a week, or 20 pounds in 3 weeks.
And why is that though? Why is it healthier? Why is it better to lose less?
Well, one is when we say a 1/4 pound to 1.5 pounds, we're talking about body fat, which is again what we want to be losing. It doesn't help you to have less water in your body. And it's just then science and the way our bodies work, you can only burn so much fat in a week. So it's not that it's just slower is better just to say it's better, but it's just that it's not possible for the most part to lose much more than that as far as body fat goes.
Animal on shoulder ahead. So if you could focus mostly, there's a dead animal. So if you could focus mostly on losing body fat, which is what we want to do, without muscle wasting, without losing...
And that's another one, too, for losing weight,
muscle wasting. I mean, us women, we don't want to lose the muscle that we have because not a lot of us don't have a lot of it either.
Right.
And it's not like you are ever also going to turn into a man, so like let's not even get off on that tangent right now, but just note that.
But muscle also is important for health, too. I mean, you don't have to want to be a bodybuilder, but having muscle and being able to function and just do daily things requires muscle in your body. You don't want that to go away. It's already trying to, with age is already fighting us as far as wanting to get rid of our muscle.
Yeah.
You know, so don't contribute to it by not eating right or eating too little and, you know, doing exercise the wrong way.
So let's talk about eating and how does diet play into this? To figure out, like, okay, for me personally, I can eat 1,800 calories a day and maintain my weight or possibly lose weight. We're still trying to figure that out.
Right, and that is one thing. It's a process of figuring out exactly, so if we're talking about losing weight, you do need to be in a calorie deficit, but it can't be so great. It has to be enough food to fuel what you're doing, give you the energy to do workouts and do your day and all that stuff, but you still have to obviously burn more than you took in. But it's got to be the right balance, and it can't be a huge gap like people want it to be. You can't, you know, you can't try to burn 3,000 calories and eat 1,000 calories. You'll never be able to sustain that for very long. It's not, you know, you would have no energy.
So it's a very delicate balance.
Yes.
Which is why it's great to have a trainer that knows what he's doing to be able to tell you these things, because we're not experts on this.
Right. And another thing too, in determining that, so there's not an exact science to determine this, but there are tools and tests that can be done to help you figure it out easier for yourself, because we're all different.
So where could somebody go to get that done? Tell people they need to go somewhere to have your resting metabolic rate tested, your RMR, right?
Yeah, that's what metabolic testing would be. Yeah,
so then you need to go do that to find out your baseline of your calorie intake that cannot be lower than that.
Right, and that is essentially, if you sat on a couch and didn't move all day, you still burn calories. You still need to eat, obviously, and that's the minimum number that you need to eat to sustain basic function, brain function, all your organs.
To not have muscle wasting.
Yeah, and to not waste. Yeah, have any waste. To maintain your baseline weight and all that stuff.
So any activity you're going to be doing on top of that, like you're going to walk, you're going to run, you're going to like maybe walk up the stairs a few times a day, you're going to be putting clothes away, you're going to be walking around at work, you're going to be walking from your car to your car. This is all going to create that calorie deficit for you. Plus, I'm going to say it, cardiovascular work. We'll get into that later. But basically, what you want to find out is your resting metabolic rate, so that you can figure out what your minimum baseline is. Now, if you start eating, they say, okay, you need to eat 1,500 calories, nothing less than 1,500 calories a day, which was mine, and you lose 3 pounds in the first week. Your activity level is so high that you're burning more calories. You're getting into the muscle wasting area because you're now burning too many calories.
You're not eating enough to sustain that, to fuel that added activity. And now you're getting, you burn fat, but now you're also getting into possibly some dehydration, possibly some muscle wasting, and that's where that larger pounds that you're losing, that's where that's coming from.
Okay.
So people feel good. Oh, I lost 3 pounds this week, or 4 pounds. But it's an inflated view of what really is happening, and it really is more detrimental, especially in the long term, both physically and mentally, because again, physically you can't sustain that for like ever, and then mentally that's going to wear on you when you feel like you're failing because you can't continue that. I mean, it's just a whole cycle of, you know, and that's how people go on and off all these things all the time.
All right, now we're going to talk about the necessary exercise to help you become fitter.
Yeah, we're good.
And I feel like that this is going to really just take us on a whole new tangent. And I feel like people are going to have a lot of questions about all of this. And once again, we have no certifications. We are just kind of regurgitating to you what the trainer has told us and what this expert has told us. So we're kind of just filling in so that you can kind of know the science behind it. We are
we're not scientists.
We're also not trainers, and we're not telling you to go do this stuff. You really need to see a professional. So if you have a question or you want to know who I use, definitely message me or comment so that we can set you up with
we're trying to draw light onto these type of things that really aren't talked about a lot.
That why should we be doing cardio to help us lose body fat and get fitter?
Okay.
That's a word.
What controls how we burn body fat in our muscles is mitochondria. They're the little things in the muscles. Again, they're responsible for burning fat.
Well, back in school, we all learned about mitochondria. They're called the powerhouses of the cell.
Yes.
You might have heard of them. They're important.
Yes. And now we all have a certain number of them, and that's what determines how we use body fat for energy.
So genetics gives you a certain number of mitochondria.
And that's sort of how you can explain in the people that you see that are naturally thinner. They have more mitochondria. They burn more fat. Yeah. That sucks, right? That we all, like, some people have more, some people have less, and you're like, well, shit, I'm just, I'm destined to be fat or overweight because I got shitty mitochondria. But the thing is, you can increase them. And so then you say, well, how do we increase the mitochondria? And that's what we're talking about with all this cardio. By doing cardio in the right way, and to your own body's abilities, and you can increase the mitochondria, thus increasing your ability to burn more fat and get leaner and stay leaner by staying in shape. And so how do we determine all this and figure these things out? That I mentioned it earlier, but that's what you want to go and get your VO2 max tested. That is a test. So that's, you go and you get hooked up to this oxygen mask over your face, and it gets hooked up to a computer, and you get like on a treadmill or something. I'm going to actually show you a video of that right in here of me doing my last test where we retested me after 12 weeks. Took a video. Okay. And cool. I'm going to put that in right now, so you can keep talking though. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you get hooked up to the machine, you start to exercise, right? And you start off real slow, and you gradually, like every minute or so, you go a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. And the idea is you're going to keep upping that intensity as long as you can until you basically can't go anymore. You get too out of breath and you need to stop. But what it's measuring, that mask, is your body's ability to use oxygen and deliver that oxygen to the muscles in your body at given work rates. So, and this basically is a test of how fit you are. And so the more fit, the more in shape people are, the higher their VO2 score.
The more fat they burn during work.
And and throughout the day as well.
So now I'm going to be on camera and I am driving, so I'm not going to look at you guys very much, but I want to tell you about what I'm going to do for the next 12 weeks and what my results were from the very first 12-week session with the trainer, doing all of this stuff that Mike explained. So I had my VO2 max tested to start, and he has a little chart at the trainer's gym about, where do you fall when you get your number back. So my number was 30, and that means absolutely nothing to you, and it meant nothing to me when I started. But for a 33-year-old woman to be at a 30 is poor. So I think it was below average or poor. Either one, not good. So what's funny is, before I got pregnant with McKenna, so it was, 6 years ago now, when Mike and I both joined this gym, and we both went through the same exact testing. And this is what I mean about mindset. Like, if your mindset's not there, you are never going to be able to stick with something. So I was not in the right mind space. I was just doing it, just basically felt a little forced into doing it. Like, Mike was going to go, so I was like, oh, well, I'll go too. And then I wasn't there for myself, and I was kind of doing it for the wrong reasons. But anyway, your ears are popping. So I had the same exact number 6 years ago when I weighed 200 pounds. And that's really sad that I was still at the same number. Some people could say, well, at least the number didn't go up. And as you get older, the number should naturally, or at least the number didn't go down. But as you get older, the number does naturally go down. So really, I kind of maintained my same VO2 max score. And really found my love of weightlifting, and kickboxing has been another love of mine.
But your level of physical fitness did not change.
Right.
in that time. So, and you would have thought it would have.
Yeah, because I lost like 20 pounds.
So, and it doesn't mean you can't lose weight either.
Right. And I probably did, and I probably lost body fat. It wasn't that I lost was muscle wasting
Right.
or anything.
But it was over a long period of time, and you didn't get any fitter really, and...
Yeah. So here's my main thing. Like, if I'm going to spend 30 to 45 minutes every single day working out, do I want to see results from that? Yes. Do I want to have a longer life because of it? Yes. And is it I want to get the best bang for my buck. Like, if I'm going to spend time doing something, I want it to be worth it. So that sent me on a search for something more, and more than Beachbody, it sent me like I said, my heart is gonna always be with Beachbody, because it really got me to realize that I am out of a vicious circle of terrible diets, and I am going to eat healthy and work out, and those are the things you have to do if you want to get fitter. But also, you have to figure out the right way to go about this. And science says it's going to be a lot of cardio, and it's actually going to be very, very specific and measurable, and it's not going to be like everybody's going to do jumping jacks for 20 minutes. When I started this first 12 weeks, I actually was thinking, and I told the trainer, I was like, hey, I just want to do 12 weeks of this 5 days of cardio thing, and then I want to start lifting weights. But the more that he gave me to research, and the more I spoke with him and learned the science behind this, which I don't know everything, that's why I brought Mike on, is the more I realized that I really need to continue with this cardio. I lost, and this is crazy for me to even say, I did 12 weeks of five days a week of cardio. And for about 5 weeks, I stuck to my diet perfectly. And then for the next 7 weeks, it was kind of off, it was kind of on. I just couldn't get my head in the right space. So I will say that my diet slipped up a little more than necessary, than it should have, and I lost only 4.6 pounds. But I can say it was definitely all body fat. I feel much better, and my VO2 score went from a 30 to a 39 or 38. Yeah. So I could definitely tell the score was going to go up, because there's a lot of numbers and kind of measuring things. But when I was doing my runs, I had to kind of record my yards per second, which is a calculation that you can just easily do when you're running around a track. And I found out that I was definitely getting faster, a lot faster, and I could just feel better when I was running. And by the end, I was running for an hour straight at the track. What? Who does that? Not me. Certainly not me. I was running 5 miles by the end of the thing, which is crazy. And it's really awesome for me, and I'm pretty competitive, so competing with myself every single week to get faster was very motivating. Wasn't always like that. No, sure wasn't. Couldn't get through this 6 years ago when we did it. But, when you're in the right space and you really want to get the most bang for your buck, you'll do things that you never thought you could do before. So, also, I wouldn't say that the workouts were, so challenging. I wouldn't say I almost died at every single one, because you cannot train like that all the time. And the trainer knows that, so he gives you a nice mix of, oh, this is, steady state. We're just hanging out. I get an hour and a half on the elliptical to watch Bravo TV. Sweet. So I enjoyed it.
Talk about how you determine your intensity level in these workouts. How are you tracking that or measuring that?
What do you mean?
With your heart rate.
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah.
So basically, you find out a heart rate when you're doing your little test, which I showed you guys the video of me doing my test with the mask on. And he gives you a heart rate, which is your max heart rate. And you don't ever want to get high above that max heart rate, because you're not able to sustain that. And you have all experienced this, where you go to a workout class where you literally, you cannot do another jumping jack / burpee / lap around the room. You literally feel like you're going to die. Well, you've built up too much lactic acid in your body. And what's really good about the program that I'm on is that he gives you that number, and you work in little sections, little percentages of the number all week. So I know that this video is a lot of information, a lot going on, but basically I'm going to be doing another 12-week session, and I am determined to get my nutrition under control this time. I know that it's going to take some more willpower to just stick to my little plan, but it's not like I'm hungry. It's just like I just have an overeating thing that I like to do, and I just need to stop doing that. So I'm going to get that under control. That is my goal. I hope that all of this made sense, or at least some of it, and maybe you fast forwarded to this part and you didn't really listen to a lot of us babbling on and on and on. The main point of me kind of sharing all this with you is because I've really shared my fitness journey from like start one. I went all the way back to like my childhood in some of these videos to tell you guys like where I'm coming from, and a lot of you can really relate to a lot of the stuff that I've gone through. And now that I'm taking a totally different kind of turn in my fitness journey, I feel like I owe it to everybody to kind of explain to you what I'm doing, and that's why I feel like sharing this is important to me. So I'm going to keep sharing with you guys how it goes. I'm going to tell you my struggles and my successes, and you know, all of that with you guys as always. So thank you for watching. Let's give Mike a special thank you for joining me in this video. Let us know if you have questions about this, because I'm sure some of you are like, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And you actually want to know more, and we love that you want to know more. So comment so that we can like record more videos like this if you want to see them.